going to be another video where I'm brushing my hair because I need to brush it and I can do that whilst I'm talking. So recently Gemma tagged me in a video called Tips for Life, in which she gave out some tips for life, sort of as an alternative to New Year's resolutions. The idea being that you try and keep these up for just more than the year, or, you know, the first week of January. I have a problem with the whole concept, as I will explain at the end, but whatever, let's go with it. My first tip is don't leave it 2 weeks between brushing your hair. My second tip is set aside time for you if you are the sort of person who gets stressed. Make sure you let yourself have time off. And also, if you do have time off scheduled, it does mean that you will work harder in order to have that time off. For example, Sunday nights are my nights. I go out, I do a tutoring session, then I come back, nothing happens after that. Which does mean that I work all day Sunday in order to have that time off and I get stuff done. But my last tip for life is one that's going to go completely in opposition to something that Gemma said. Because Gemma has a maxim by which she lives, which is everything happens for a reason. And I completely disagree. There is one very, very easy way to refute everything happens for a reason, which is what on earth do you do when you come across something horrible? How on earth do you rationalise to yourself that it happened for a reason? I have various things I could talk about which involve other people, so therefore I won't. But the one I'm going to talk about is my experience with depression when I was 12 and 13. That didn't happen for a reason. I can find meaning in it post-event, because if I hadn't had depression, I don't know who I would be today. It fundamentally changed who I am. And it did lead to me gaining self-awareness and becoming more aware of my worldview. It possibly led to me becoming a stronger person, but I didn't have depression so I could attain those things. I had depression and therefore I attained those things. There's a difference. Things happen by chance. They just happen just because they happen. The important thing is what you do with things that have happened. So there's an example of me completely disagreeing with Gemma. But I said right at the beginning of this video that I have a problem with the whole concept of the Tips for Life tag. My problem is this: I don't think that what I have to say about life is necessarily going to be useful to you. I mean, it might be. Some of the things I say, some of the tips I've given you, you might immediately adopt them and find your life becoming so much better for it. But I doubt it. I mean, ultimately, all I can give you is, at the very most, a starting point from which to think about your own maxims. Thinking that the world is meaningless, that helps me accept the bad things in my life, and it helps me give a sense of purpose to my own actions, because if there is no destiny, then I'm making my own life and I am making my own fate, as it were. But that might not be the way to go for you. You might be like Gemma and like to think that everything happens for a reason, and that's perfectly fine. So the conclusion of this video is don't listen to anything I actually say, but perhaps take the idea behind the video and think about your own life and think about what tips you have given to yourself. Then again, is that not me giving you a tip? Coils within coils.